Talking of moral maze, let's turn to Boris Johnson. You're still a supporter?
Yes.
Really?
Shockingly so.
John, I mean, come on. What more's the man got to do to dent your confidence?
Look, I supported Boris Johnson when he stood for the leadership of the Conservative Party. He's been Prime Minister for 2 years, and two of the most difficult, challenging years that any government has ever had to contend with. I mean, 3 crises, COVID, the cost of living and Ukraine.
Yeah.
And on those issues, I think the government has a strong record. Now,
well, Ukraine, I'll give him a tick. COVID, I'll give him a tick for the second half and a terrible cross for the first half. And cost of living, I mean, we're now predicted to have the worst economy in the Western world by next year after Russia. So the idea that we're doing well on the economy is for the birds, isn't it?
well, the whole world is suffering the
but we're going to be worse than all our European partners.
I'm not going to necessarily accept that until we see the figures, but no country is going to find it easy. You know, things like the cost of food, the cost of energy, that is going to affect every single country in the world, and the government is providing as much support as we can.
Do you think Boris will survive now until the next election?
Yes.
God forbid.
Well,
God forbid. Oh,
what does that sentence do to you?
It fills me with horror. I do not think... I think there's an element of the Conservative Party that's tone deaf now, and I don't think they want to listen to the public when we say it is going to be catastrophic if that man...
Well, Boris Johnson actually has been listening to you, probably on this show, which, by the way, he's still refusing to come on. About 8 years now since he's run into a fridge to avoid me. But on what he said today, he's basically doing a massive U-turn, isn't he? And basically trying to talk the Conservatives...
You're reading my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Well, this is the frustrating thing, because it raises so many questions. Why now? Why is it when your party almost chucked you out, are you trying to implement somewhat conservative policies? And they're actually not very conservative if you look at them. Why now? Why did you not do it when we were telling you you are infuriating your base, you have nothing to offer young people, your demographic is slowly, fading because, the Conservatives largely have an older, more aged demographic party base. Why now? Why not when we were telling you to do that? And I'm at the point where I generally do not think there's any way that man can come back for me, because I did support Boris, like you, and I think this is too far gone, his track record, and I do understand...
You know what's interesting? I do think that the Conservative Party is now split between Boris loyalists, who see him warts and all, probably, accept his downside, but think there's a good electable upside. A lot of other Conservatives who are just completely done and can't even look at it. It's very interesting, which is what you saw with his own MPs in the no-confidence vote, of course.